Hey Ashley, congratulations. You and Diablo got into the bottom of the 2D with this run at the Baker County Arena in North Florida. A 15-3 won it. You ran a 16-2. Second barrel needs a little tweaking, but first and third was awesome. And your first barrel, I'm really proud of you. And so your note said that you exhibition second barrel correctly, but then it fell apart in competition. You said that you feel like you see people go into second with their front and back feet on the same tracks and wrap it, which is true, and you want your front and back feet on the same tracks too, but you can't wrap it going in because number one, he's 16 over 16 hands. He has a huge stride, and his style, he doesn't need to wrap it like a little four-wheel drive 15 hand horse. You can still give him 3 to 5 feet going in, and then he'll come out better and you won't have to touch his face. But you didn't give that to him. So let's talk about first, though. First was awesome. You sent him in really confidently, but the best thing you did here was you rode him to his arc. This is a short score, so you only have to go up the middle for 1 or 2 strides. So 1, then 2, and then you go right to your arc. But look when he gets there. Front and back feet, same tracks. You did a little light hand bump right here to say, come on in, Diablo, and he listened great. And then look how he comes in here, rate 1, rate 2, and he's got such a big stride. When he comes in, he digs in a little bit. So technically, when you bump him with your hand, right here, he says, come in. And then he really rates 1, and then 2 with your leg at the barrel, then 1 stride in the hole. And his feet got a little stretched out. You can see in the ground a little right there, but he came around nicely out of that. So let me try to zoom out on that one a little better. So if we were to watch this in full speed, you can see he's coming in nice. You bump, he comes in. And that was perfect. And then you'll see him dig in now for rate, and then another rate. And then right here, the ground looks deep and heavy, but he's got such long legs, he powers through it just fine. I can't zoom in just because of the way it's videotaped. But look how he pushes off perfect on his second stride. And you pull up on the horn, you start to point at your next spot 1. But here's where you get in trouble. You take him in a little too tight. Swaps his lead right there. Rates 1, rates 2, but look, you give him no pocket. So I don't know who you're watching, but don't watch them because your horse needs at least 3 feet. If you would imagine the barrel laying down, he could have his front and back feet on the same tracks, rate 1 stride before the barrel, 2nd stride at the barrel, and then he would have 1 stride spot 1 to 2. 2nd stride here, he would snap out really tight. So rate with 3 feet going in, and then 1 stride in the hole, 2 strides here, and pivot spot 3 here. So because he had no room, you had to pull on his face now to finish, and he's still going to come out wide. So you did the opposite. You went in tight and came out wide. So next time, just give him 3 feet. He needs that 3 feet going in. And in his stride, he's easily going to get there. With his stride, he could almost do 4 or 5. I'm afraid if you did 4 or 5, if you did 5, though, his shoulder would get in and his hip would get out. It's kind of like I think you could actually shave time on this barrel, too, because I do feel like when you bumped him to come in, he actually rates down just a tick there. Not so much, but then really digs in here and then digs in here because the ground's heavy. But still, in and out, beautiful. That was my favorite first barrel. And he's just you guys are just a novice team together. This is first year competition, your first year owning him. You guys are doing beautiful, but you absolutely did not give him 3 feet going in, and all horses need at least that. That's why you came out wide. So you're still in and out in 2 strides technically, but that sets you out coming out wide for the next barrel. But fortunately, you're able to recover from it. You pull up on the horn, get back to 2 hands. He held his lead. That was the other thing. He did swap his lead a little later. So if you use more in left leg, he'll maybe swap sooner. He swaps right there, rate 1, rate 2, but just not enough room right there. So That was the biggest thing. That's the only thing I would worry about, is that you just didn't give him enough room. Your leg has to get to the barrel before you turn, and he has to have 3 feet. So let's see how this barrel goes. So you stay 2 hands, you rode square. I like that. You're looking between his ears. Biomechanically, your hips and shoulders are square. His hips and shoulders are square. Front and back feet are on the same tracks. He rates 1, still square, and you did a little bump here as well before you went to the horn. You bumped right there, and then you sat, went to the horn. Rate 2, see how your leg's at the barrel? And see how he has 3 feet of pocket? He actually has more like 4 on the back, but see how big he is? He can actually pivot out. That ground was deep. So he did bog down behind this barrel a little bit in the ground, and I think it's just the ground got him on that one. But you rode him beautifully, and then he ran hard. So just a really nice horse. He's super athletic. I just love Diablo. And just be patient, but be specific. You know, second barrel seems to be the barrel that frustrates you the most, and it's because this barrel is the hardest for most people and horses, because you move over and have a lead change, and it's a full turn. Where first barrel you have a nice arc and it's only 3/4, and third barrel is only a half a turn, but second barrel can be a challenge. But you need a minimum of 3 feet going in. So imagining the barrel laying down, that would be 3 feet. So aim there, and also aim 3 feet past. So as you're looking past the barrel, aim past it, and that big boy will cover ground and he'll turn better, and you won't have to touch his face. Just like here, when you turn, you trust his training, you use your eyes and your hips, and he turns. Your legs can back that up, but other than that, it was a great job. So well done, and I'm proud of you. You went, you're going in the right direction. You went from 4D to 3D and now 2D. So keep it up. Great job. And for him, during the week, go back to basics. Do your transitions, do your leg laterals, do some stopping and backing, rollbacks. On the barrel pattern. Open horses don't need to see the barrel pattern, but a novice horse, you can keep practicing lining up with third and going to 12-foot arc, 3-foot spot 1 to 2, move over right away. This would be where you ideally want the lead change, but if he does it here, that's okay too. And then 3 feet all the way till your pivot spot, and then he'll lead nice and straight, and 3 feet again. So just be consistent when you train him to work off your eyes and hips and shoulders, and your hands and legs will just back that up. So, and I think talking to your horse helps a lot too, because when you say it, you'll do it and they'll listen. So great job. And for challenges for him, I think July challenge would be wonderful for him. Thank you.